what's up everyone? My name is Jeff, and today we're going to have some fun playing Magic. And Historic Anthology 5 just barely came out, and we got 25 new cards into the Historic format. And between Mystical Archive from Strixhaven and everything else that came out recently, there's so much content to be doing on Historic. So I'm going to be making lots of really awesome Historic content now that this has all come out. And in the new set, we got some sweet Praetors, some of the best champions to be bringing back from the graveyard. Before we dive into the gameplay, a quick word from the true champion, today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Dragon Champions. If you're like me and need a break from Magic, but still want to play a good strategy game, this is the perfect game for you. I love that in this game you get to assemble your team, and that team changes for each different game mode that you play. And there are tons of modes to play. There's story campaigns, arena, tournaments, events, challenges, tower, and so on. And I'm a sucker for a good story campaign, and this game definitely has that. And one of the things I really liked about this game is that even after a few days of playing this, I was still finding new things to do. A lot of mobile games just give you one real way to play the game, while this one gives you tons of variants, and I absolutely love that. And I actually found that it was best to be jumping back and forth between the different game modes to be able to grow my team faster, as well as grow the different types of champions that you can find with it. Game links for Android and iOS are down in the description. But what's really cool is the developers actually gave me a promo code to give to you guys, and they let me choose which hero you guys will get. So if you enter the code JEFFGIFT, you will get all of this stuff and my favorite hero, Corcoran. He's a perfect hero for dealing AoE damage and stunning the entire team. Thank you again to Dragon Champions for sponsoring today's video. Without sponsorships like this channel would not survive. So support them by downloading the game with the link down below and using the promo code JEFFGIFT, and I will definitely appreciate it. So Historic Anthology 5 gave us some sweet Praetors to bring back from the graveyard. We're basically playing all of them except red because I don't think it's as much of a reanimation target as just a pretty decent cool card. But we got Elesh, Norn, 7 mana for 4/7 vigilance. Creatures that you control get +2/+2, and creatures your opponents control get -2/-2. So there are several ways to play this card, but really we're going to play as a board wipe in this deck, just as a way to get up to mana. Maybe it's something that we have in hand, or we can just slam it onto the battlefield with a reanimation spell, and their board gets minus like crazy, and the few creatures we have in the early game will get a big buff. Then we have probably the one we want to hit the most on turn 4, turn 5, which is Jin-Gitaxias. Jin-Gitaxias. There it is. Jin-Gitaxias, Core Augur, 10 mana 5/4 with flash. At the beginning of your end step, draw 7 cards, and each opponent's maximum hand size is reduced by 7. If we get this out onto the battlefield on our turn, at the end step, we draw 7 cards. And then if the opponent can't kill this on the next turn, they will have to discard their entire hand because their maximum hand size is reduced by 7. Then we have Sheoldred, Whispering One, 7 mana 6/6. At the beginning of your upkeep, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature. And last but certainly not least, Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger, the new Vorinclex, or the old Vorinclex rather. 8 mana 7/6. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana of any type that land produced. And then whenever an opponent taps a land for mana, that land doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. So if we get any of these guys out on the battlefield and stick them for a turn, we basically win the game. That's going to be the hardest part, is that we will reanimate them, and if they have immediate removal, then this deck does have some issues. But if we get these guys for even 1 turn, we should just win the game. I also brought in Koma, which is another really good reanimation target. Just wanted to have something else in here to be reanimating, and it fits perfectly. There's also a bunch of other cards from Historic Anthology. One of them that fits perfect in this deck is Grisly Salvage. 2 mana instant, reveal the top 5 cards of your library, put a creature or land card from among them into our hand, put the rest into your graveyard. So we can find a Stitcher, Supplier, or Champion of Wits with it. We actually don't want to grab any of the other Praetors, of course. We want those to go to the graveyard, or just make sure we keep hitting our land drops and get up to our 7 costed spells. Then once we fill the graveyard, we can use Unburial Rites, which flashbacks from the graveyard with white mana. That's why we're in white. To return target creature from the graveyard to the battlefield. We also have Unbreakable Bond. There is the other one that gives stuff haste, and that might be nice, but the lifelink counter from Unbreakable Bond is actually really, really valuable, and so I like it. We have Elspeth Conquers Death for a little bit of removal and some reanimation. And then Liliana's Death Majesty, just a planeswalker that has consistent value by itself and can also reanimate. Thought it was a good fit here. So that's all of the stuff that this deck needs to actually work. That doesn't leave a whole lot of room for removal and everything else. But we have 3 copies of Extinction Event, 2 copies of Heartless Act, and then 1 copy of Stifle because there's a lot of combo, and I wanted to try out the new card from Historic Anthology. This says counter target activated or triggered ability, so pretty straightforward. Just stop something from happening. All right, guys, that's pretty much the deck, so let's go ahead and dive into it. But real quick, a huge thank you for getting me up to 40,000 subscribers. But I will not rest until we have 100,000 subscribers, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and tell your friends to do it too because it's the coolest thing to do, and they need to jump on that bandwagon. All right, here we go. All right, we can Stress Boy and Champion of Wits are on the play. Yeah, keep this hand. Decent stuff. Play out, let's go Island first, pass the turn. Actually, we have Grisly Salvage. I should always be playing out green and black, basically as much as possible for the first couple turns. Alani War. Heartless Act. Do we Heartless Act the Llanowar or the guy that it brings out? I think that we do get the Llanowar. All right, Extinction Event will be nice. Hopefully we can dig for the land here. Elesh Norn is going to be awesome if we can find an Unburial Rites. Okay, not just Els. Good to know. But just ramp. Take action. No lands? Come on, deck. Come on. All right, those to the graveyard. Also, no ways to bring stuff back from the graveyard. Those are the 2 things we wanted there. Extinction Event's not the worst. We hit a land here, we get to shut them down pretty hard. Rhonas. All right, come on, land. Sweet. We lose our own Champion of Wits, but that's fine. So on odd. Yep, 2 cards left. That's a pretty big Extinction Event. Uprising. Oops. Well, we can get the Unburial Rites to the graveyard at the very least. So Unburial Rites and Champion of Wits. Pay 2, hold up the Heartless Act, pass the turn. All right, Unburial Rites, bring out Vorinclex. Let's just still hold up the Heartless Act at the very least. If there is removal, it's fine. It's also, we've seen that their best creatures are at 3, and this is 8, so Extinction Event still works even against a Rhonas. So let's go ahead and bring back a Champion of Wits. Since we had all the extra mana anyway. All right, get rid of... Actually, we can play stuff from hand pretty well. Let's get rid of lands. Yeah, sure. How much mana do we have now? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not enough. That's 10, yeah. So let's go Grisly Salvage. Burial Rites go to the graveyard. We have Indatha Triome, so I can bring something back as well. I think I want it to be... Alright, so Burial Rites, let's go, yeah, Elesh Norn. The Whispering one is good too, but we just get in for a big hit here, so it's worth it. Thanks. Alrighty then. There's not really a board wipe in mono green, so that's fine. Yeah, those lands don't untap next turn now. We're also going to bring this guy out there, just for the fun of it. All right, that's the kind of one we wanted. That was beautiful. Good stuff. All right, up against Alonzo Beard Braided. On the play, Champion Wits would be a lot better, but It does set us up for a pretty good turn 4 chance at reanimation, so we'll do it. Koma, one of the good ones. Scoos. Aw, man. This already has black. I guess we don't want to shock ourselves, so play this out, pass the turn. Scoos? Seriously? Rail meter. Alright, Grisly Salvage. Let's bring a land to hand. Get some cards into the graveyard. Snarl is nice. So you already have white mana? No. Alright, so we'll show off the Watery Grave, though. Let's go Champion of Wits. I might want to hold on to one creature. Like, a Koma, I don't think they can really deal with. Although, I think they can get rid of the Serpents over and over again with Seraph. Let's get rid of... Stifle's interesting, too. Let's get rid of... Unburial Rites. Champion of Wits, keep all the lands. Another Champion of Wits could be really nice, though. Yeah, let's get rid of the island and Unburial Rites. There we go. I'm going to hold on to the Koma. We just got a bunch of really good cards into the graveyard. This stinking Scavenging Ooze, though, is really annoying. So hopefully, come on, tap out. You know you want to. Yeah, gets rid of our guys. Good for you. Still have so much green mana to do stuff with. Whenever he dies, this gets a counter put onto it. Ah, sure, we'll just block still. Stinking Scoos. Yeah, I don't know how we beat a Scoos. I really don't. Alright, Champion of Wits again. Eternalizing a Champion of Wits is a thing we can do eventually as well, which isn't the absolute worst. Discard. Man, we really do want lands. Let's get rid of a Stifle. I'm not sure if that'll be super useful. See, they're probably playing Binding of the Old Gods in this as well. That could technically stop that, but that's fine. Get rid of... I need double white at some point. Yeah, sure. Discard those two. I know I didn't throw any creatures in the graveyard, but we also know that that's not going to help us at all. So play this tap, pass the turn. As long as they have 2 mana up, it doesn't really matter. We know that they were just going to get rid of any creatures that we had there. Description of Abundance, fights. Throws the guy. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. And then they can get rid of our Champion of Wits. This is a lot of damage. If they didn't have a Scoos, I think we would have already won. So, but Scoos is just a really, really good thing against us. How about that? Who would have thunk? Down to 4. I just want to see what's off the top. If it's an Extinction Event... Nope. Okay, yep. We're done. Sounds good. All right, against Rufino and double Grisly Salvage. Okay. Sounds good to me. A Overgrown Tomb tapped. Pass the turn. And all of the colors, all the good stuff. And we found an Unburial Rites. I mean, we kind of want that in the graveyard right now, but it's fine. Okay, pay 2. Pass the turn. Oh, dang it. I picked the wrong colors, for the love. I could counter this right now just for the fun of it, but okay, whatever. Gosh dang it, Jeff. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh man. I was really thinking this had everything we needed for Grisly Salvage, but that's not the case. Alright, down to 14. Alright, Triton. Okay. Let's grab... We really need lands right now, don't we? Citrus Supplier could be really nice, but we're already getting something to the graveyard. Let's just go with Temple Garden. Yep. Okay, Temple Garden tapped. Pass the turn. Man, we would be so much further ahead if I had Grisly Salvaged beforehand. We would have hit the Unburial Rites, I believe. Oh, Jeff. It's okay. It's okay. Vorinclex, whatever you tap a land for mana, so we get extra mana and we can stop them from being able to untap their lands. So even if they tap their lands to target stuff, to like kill the Vorinclex, those lands won't untap for the next turn. So as long as it hits the battlefield, it's still a really good hate card for us to have. All right, opponent's also milling. Okay, they're also doing Praetor stuff. Sounds good. Looks like they're doing the full 5-color version. Really debating if they want to do anything this turn. Okay. Swings in. It's Grisly Salvage. Champion of Wits. Let's... I mean, I kind of want to just keep hitting my lands, but Champion of Wits can at least be a blocker if we need it to be. We already have the 5th land for Unburial Rites. Man, if we get up to 6 mana, then we're just 1 away from the 7 mana. To do it all. Alright, let's throw out... Yeah, unfortunately we have to bolt ourselves. We had Unburial Rites in the graveyard. Gosh dang it, I didn't have to shock myself. I'm not playing very well right now, guys, okay? I got a lot on my mind, alright? Okay, Unbreakable Bond and Unburial Rites. So they are going to bring back Elesh and Norn. Man, I wish I could have held on to Stifle here. I don't know why they didn't bring back Elesh Norn now. They didn't for way more. No blocks. And a 4. Eldest Reborn. Wow. Ugh, I want that in the graveyard so bad. Alright, so Unburial Rites. We can hold on to the Stifle now. So bring back Vorinclex. They don't get any mana for this next turn. Yeah, Resolve. We'll lose Elesh Norn. We can bring back whatever we discard here for the next turn. We have to lose the Vorinclex, which is fine. Yeah, Elesh Norn kills their guys. So we have to block. Go to 2. And start playing stuff ourselves pretty soon, but not quite. So we'll stifle the Eldest Reborn trigger. Tapped. Why aren't you holding up blue mana? Is it holding up blue mana? Yeah, the breeding pool. Okay, cool. Let's go... Yeah, just Elesh Norn. Get rid of that guy. Come on. Alright, we know they still have the Unburial Rites, so that's fine. Which, the Sheoldred is pretty annoying. Koma will be pretty good against that, though. Although Swamp Walk is really annoying. We can still deal with that, though, right? They can keep bringing stuff back from their graveyard. Which one triggers first? Do they actually have anything in the graveyard? I might be able to use my Sheoldred. They can bring back an Elesh Norn. Oh, how does this work out? So if we play out Sheoldred, they sacrifice their Sheoldred at the beginning of the upkeep. They'll be able to bring something back from the graveyard. But I believe mine resolves first. Koma probably was the safest play just because I could have tapped it down and waited for a turn. But if they kept bringing stuff back over and over again, we were just going to get so far behind. So that dies. They can target the Elesh Norn. Okay, that's what I was hoping for, is that they would have to sacrifice it before Eldritch Reborn for the love. Okay, Koma. This tapped. Okay, discard a card. Let's discard Champion of Wits. I think we might be able to somehow survive this. Unbreakable Bond for the Sheoldred. Yeah. Lifelink is annoying. Tax him with the Norn. Yeah, so block here. Gonna each opponent's upkeep. That player sacrifices a creature. Oh, dang it. We're gonna lose the Koma, huh? We'll make a token, but Koma dies beforehand. Yeah, so Koma dies. We make a token. Champion of Wits. I think we just need to draw into something here. Oh, it's only a 2/2, right? Extinction Event is pretty big. Yeah, Extinction Event is really big. They get to bring something else back. So this is an interesting thing. So if they grab our Elesh Norn, it does actually kill our entire board, and then they sacrifice. So that was a little bit of a misplay. They should have gone for the Extinction Event play there. Or sorry, that's what I have. Elesh Norn, because it would have guaranteed lethal this turn. They would be legendary, and the legendary effect would go onto the stack right away. Oh, Swamp Walk. Yeah, okay. Good game. Dang it. Well, yeah. Eldritch Reborn I totally forgot about. That's such a good card for this. Yeah, I definitely should have added Eldritch Reborn. All right, I'm against Anti-Vanchev, and we have a bunch of reanimation spells, and one way to get stuff into the graveyard? Sure. We'll try this hand out. It is a tapped land, which is a little bit awkward. Come on, play it out. There you go. Snow-covered mountain. So I'm 2-1 with this deck right now. Or sorry, 2-0. And so I'm hoping that I can kind of keep up the. I play a couple of games of testing just to make sure the deck is working. I made a couple changes afterwards, but hopefully this just works. Like basically, if we get one of these guys out on the battlefield, we just win. We just need to make that happen. All right, opponent is also going to be reanimating Terror of the Peaks, I'm guessing. Stitcher Supplier. Lots of stuff to hand. Not exactly what we wanted. All right, one reanimation target. What is up with not being able to play the Lance? You have to bring it out so far. Is that new? Because they just barely did an update, and that feels unnatural now. Faithless Looting. Number dose. They haven't played a land yet this turn. Were we on the play? I don't remember. I believe so. Lots of stuff in the graveyard. Well, land is nice. We need one more land, or a few more lands to get to stuff. And then if we can get to Jin-Gitaxias. First try. Nailed it. All right. Then it'll be sweet. If we get to that, it'll be the greatest thing ever. Faithless Looting. All right, good cards to find at the top would be Grisly Salvage, And also Witness. What's the name here? One of just scoops. All right then. Champion of Wits, that's the one. That was way off. All right, well, we have a ton of stuff to fill the graveyard and Unburial Rites in hand. I mean, those technically we kind of want to get those into the graveyard as well, but it'll work. So let's go Swamp, Stitcher Supplier. Come on. I'm like, I have to drag like all the way up here to get stuff out, where normally it was right there. Like I wonder if they like changed something, because it feels funky. That's all I gotta say. Kozilek. Oh, Grisly Salvage goes away. Hummer. Would have been really nice. Well, let's play out the Triome. Swing them in. Pass the turn. Alright, Mardu. Graveyard synergy stuff. That's what I'm feeling. Sedgemoor Witch. Ooh. This has Menace, and so I'm actually going to go ahead and attack in. I can't block it anyway. And so we'll wait until another turn to start to where we can get to the sacrifice Stitcher Supplier. Young Pyromancer. Warlord's Fury. Oh yeah. This seems good. Yeah. Sedgemoor Witch, it's basically another copy of Pyromancer. Heck yeah, that's good stuff. Alright, well, tapped. Land again. What do we have in the graveyard? Oh, that's right, nothing. So come on, Stitcher Supplier. You can die. I believe in you. Please, no way to not let it die. Light Scribe. Oh man, that seems good. Lightning Helix. Doesn't kill the Supplier. Very interesting. All right. If we can get an Elesh Norn into the graveyard, we have a shot. Okay. That'll do. All right, even. Everything but Witch. No creatures into the graveyard. Okay, we can bring back a Stitcher Supplier. We're good. We're safe. Oh, wait. Yeah. Playing the Firstborn gives it haste. Lightning Helix. Wait, no, not enough to do the Lightning Helix. Inquisition of Kozilek, though. Yeah, we got squat. We almost stopped him there for a second. We just did not hit any creatures into the graveyard, and that is bad enough to be bad, you know? Yeah. Bring back Stitcher Supplier.
My love, what they've done to the place.
So I could have cycled with the Triome. Getting up to the Elesh Norn with it, though, is a decent shot. Was that our first white source? Oh, I guess it would have been off on the Unburial Rites anyway. Yeah, good game. Yay, I can finally discard the card I wanted. Yes! Oh, it would have been so great. Still a fun one. Got a mulligan in this hand. Not anything that we need. Grisly Salvage. There we go. Keep this. Drop this. All right. So I have to have green and black. I have to remember that. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Just get one of these guys out because I have a swamp on the other side as well. Regardless. So Snarl the next turn into Salvage. Got it. Pass the turn. Satyr's Cunning, huh? No creatures. So let's grab the Champion of Wits. We need to make sure we fill that graveyard correctly. We have Unburial Rites to get rid of from our hand. There's a creature. All right. So we have to hit one land off of this as well to get our best possibility. ECD is pretty nice. That's not a land. Still hope for it off the top. All right, we're going to get rid of Unburial Rites and this still. Come on, land off the top. And we dug a little bit deeper, so still a decent chance of it. Swings in. ECD can hit this. Let's say no blocks. Okay. All right, World Tree tapped. Grisly Salvage. The land. Okay, Stitcher Supplier. We gotta give lifelink to our guy now, which is pretty sweet stuff. No attacks, pass the turn. All right, now our graveyard is stocked. Want to scoop it up, yeah. Double Unburial Rites. We just had some good stuff in there. If we found like an Elesh Norn, if they killed the Stitcher Supplier too, that was just straight up game. So yeah, not too shabby at all. All right, so we went 5-5 with this deck. I didn't show everything. I had 2 wins that were in testing, and then 2 losses that I just didn't really want to show you guys. That weren't very fun. Definitely lost on the draw, but 71% win rate on the play. The deck is fun. It's funny. It's definitely not a competitive deck, but it does a big, powerful thing, which is what you have to do in Magic to win games. How about that? And so the cool, powerful thing that we're doing is bringing these guys back out there. And unfortunately, we really got to see like Vorinclex, Elesh Norn, whatever. I didn't get to see the Jin-Gitaxias, which is the card that won me the games in the 2 games I tested, and it was a really, really sweet one. And so people scooped the times that I almost brought this back, and so we didn't really get to see it this time around, but it's a super fun card. Be able to draw a bunch of cards, making them discard everything is really, really sweet stuff. And there might just be a deck that's just built around making that one happen rather than everything else. But overall, this is fun. I had a blast playing it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. As far as trying to make this one a little bit better, the other deck we ran up against was the Eldest Reborn version. They're playing the 5-color version as well. Eldest Reborn, I think, is definitely a good inclusion into the deck, so you can definitely bring that in here. At the same time, though, it's 5-mana removal, which we are already really at the high end of stuff. So ramp is something you could do. I almost brought in Growth Spiral just because Growth Spiral is, it lets us ramp up to our Unburial Rites a little bit faster, and we needed a 2-turn play. But squeezing in the Stitcher Supplier, Grisly Salvage, and Champion of Wits gives us enough ways to mill into the graveyard or get stuff out of our hand that it's good enough. I wanted more ways to get stuff out of hand, and so that's where going into red could be really good with Faithless Looting. That's the other card that really could be good, is going into red. If we're already 4-color, you can probably make it 5-color fairly simply. But if you're 5-color, making sure that you have red mana and having Faithless Looting in the handle at the same time is actually not that easy to do, especially if you're trying to get it on turn 1, which is the reason for playing Faithless Looting. You might have to be playing more tapped lands to get enough stuff that's out there to make sure you have red mana. Like you might be playing more Triomes. Anyway, so you end up getting a bunch of downside along with the benefit of having Faithless Looting, and so then it becomes not as worthwhile. And that's I think that's just a trade-off. Like, depends on what you want to be playing with that, if that's what you're going to go for. I think this is probably a better package or better plan of just like having some really good solid things you can have. At the same time, though, Faithless Looting is definitely, I mean, it's Champion of Wits but on turn 1 instead, and then you can flash it back again as well, you know. So it's Champion of Wits on steroids. Well, Champion of Wits does have the body. It's nice to be able to block with all that kind of stuff, but being able to do it on turn 1 is so much better to just set up for the rest of the game a lot better. So anyway, that's the one card where I feel like you need to bring in at some point, and you could probably play like a different colored version of this. Maybe like Grixis could be pretty good. Not worry about the green as much. Grisly Salvage, there's other cards you don't have to have Grisly Salvage to work with it. That way you have Faithless Looting instead, and there's a lot of still good cards that aren't just Praetors. This one is definitely all in on the theme of Praetor, where I feel like some of them aren't necessary to do a really big cool thing. Still just fun in general. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.